termination of the motion on notice dated June 5. The court also directed that the defendants be immediately served with the originating processes in the suit filed as it fixed June 19 for hearing. Right now, that happened, and so there is that restraining them from embarking on a strike. But they met with the federal government. I'm talking organized labor now. Met with the federal government, and several agreements were reached. 7 of them, particularly 7 of them. And we'll tell you as we touch and talk about this extensively today what they agreed on. Again, Gbenga Ayannuga is our guest on the show, and we're talking about this morning. So you can be part of the conversation in about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, you get the chance when we then bring you into the conversation on the Take the Mic segment. Yes, the segment will be Take the Mic, where you can join the conversation at 10 minutes past 10. You can do that. So, Gbenga, first, that negotiation with the federal government happened yesterday, and there in that meeting were a few representatives of the federal government, and 7 things like I mentioned. First, the federal government, the TUC, and the Nigeria Labour Congress is to establish a joint committee to review the principle for any wage increase, or rather they are to review the proposal, beg your pardon, for any wage increase, or award and establish a framework and timeline for implementation. Number 2 is that the federal government, the TUC and the Nigeria Labour Congress, is to review World Bank Finance Cash Transfer Scheme and propose inclusion of low income earners in the program. The third is that the federal government, the TUC and the Nigeria Labour Congress, is to revive the CNG conversion program that was earlier agreed with labor centers in 2021 and work out detailed implementation and timing. Number 4 is that the labor centers and the federal government is to review issues hindering effective delivery in the education sector and propose solutions for implementation. See how education has gotten into the conversation. All right. Number 5 is that the labor centers and the federal government is to review and establish the framework for completion of the rehabilitation of the nation's refineries. So refineries also have come into the conversation. The federal government on number 6 is to provide a framework for the maintenance of roads and expansion of rail networks across the country. And then number 7 is that all other demands submitted by the Trade Union Congress to the federal government will be assessed by the joint committee. Gbenga, 7 resolutions reached at that meeting. Let's get your thoughts.
Well, we know that of the 7 resolutions, the one that concerns the masses most is how much is coming to them. So resolution number 1 and 2 that talks about wages increment and the modality for it, and the one that talks about the conditional cash transfer that they've been doing now without trace, making sure that it goes to those poorly paid civil servants. And maybe number 3, the one that talks about the CNG conversion, such that people can begin to use generators that use gas in their home rather than the one that use petrol, that people can use car that use gas and all the rest. I think those are the 3 major ones that really will concern majority of the workers out there. The other ones are just so that making it be like so we don't touch these ones, even though they are also equally important. But we must first and foremost give kudos to the leadership of the NLC and the TUC for allowing common sense to prevail, because I was afraid for them that they will still go ahead with the strike against all plea from all quarters. And if they have gone ahead with the strike, there is a likelihood that the strike action will fail in at least 4 out of the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. And if that does happen, that will weaken any future strength of the Labour Congress to negotiate or issue threat using strike as a threat, because now the federal government will see that they can do things and get away with it. Don't let us forget the US made the same mistake during this Ukraine war, where they started banning. There is this money exchange system SWIFT that is used worldwide. They ban it for Russia, and because of it, Russia had to develop its own system. China also had to develop its own system, and we can see that immediately the US first thought they had made major gain by trapping a lot of people's Russian oligarchs' money all over the world, and the ruble fell. But eventually, when the Russians have stepped this thing, they were able to make a lot of money. Take it back to the union labor issue. If the labor protest had failed, then there will be more trouble for all Nigerians, because when we now have genuine reason to go on national strike, the government will not take us seriously because of this one that has failed. And that is why I said, let us first and foremost give kudos to the leadership of the NLC, the TUC, and all the affiliated organizations for gauging the temperature of the society and knowing when to practically retreat and still have a win-win of the situation. Now, to the crux of the matter, which is the things that will cushion the effect of the fuel price increase as a result of removal of subsidy. Yes, they mentioned part of their resolution, the revival of the 4 refineries, but I don't think the government should continue wasting our money on trying to revive the 4 refineries. They should sell it to private individuals who have the capacity to run it, and let them run it like a proper business and make money. In the last 8 years, Kaduna Refinery alone has got nothing less than 200 billion naira as overhead cost. I'm just even understating the amounts, because I know there was a particular year where in 1 year it was reported that they got in excess of 60 billion naira as overhead cost without refining 1 single liter of oil. So if you calculate in the last 8 years, you will say they must have got nothing less than 200 billion naira and nothing to show for it. The ones that are working partially in Port Harcourt and in Warri, the amount they are getting as overhead, if you compare it to the output they are bringing, you will see that it will be waste of time for government to consider wasting money on this thing. We should adopt the method His Excellency Atiku Abubakar proposed, that we should sell this refinery and give the people, we can let it be competitive. Don't sell it to people who already have big refineries such that there will be monopoly. Sell these refineries and let them be able to refine fuel indoor to complement the one we already have. And those who have already started establishing modular refineries, let us give them working environment level playing field that will encourage ease of doing business for them to quickly complete their modular refineries. Because I know a few modular refineries that are 40, 50, 60% completed across part of this country, and a lot of the delay in completion is due to government policy that is making some of their parts to be stranded at the seaports. So we should look into all of that.
Yeah, Gbenga, please hold your thought. I would continue this conversation, right? But we have joining us now your state Nigeria Labour Congress chairman and the national vice president Southwest, Jusun. Jusun is the Judicial Staff Union, right? Comrade Kayode Martins. He joins us our phone this morning. Good morning to you, Comrade Kayode Martins. How are you doing today?
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. We appreciate it. All right, let's talk about this suspended strike. First, maybe you were too heavy heart, right? But let's begin with the Nigeria Labour Congress and the negotiations by the leadership, the national leadership of the Congress with the federal government. How would you assess that negotiation going on and the ruling from the court restricting or restraining the Congress from going on strike?
Concerning the ruling, that will not be the first time. It's a pity that the government of the day that always fail to obey court ruling, we still beckon on the same courts to come and give the ruling to stop a particular move in the country. Then, as per the negotiation, though the whole intention of the Nigeria Labour Congress might have been misinterpreted by some people, and I think that is what the political cabal in the country want to achieve. What Nigeria Labour Congress stand for is that subsidy is nothing but a fraud. Whoever emerges as the president must not let it be. Now telling us that we are against subsidy removal. No, we are the one that created the indulgence in the mind of Nigerian people that subsidy is nothing but a fraud. And if a particular amount of money is a mark for subsidy, now that it is being removed, let's spread it across board. Our education is in shambles. Then the federal government from 185 naira went ahead and increased the fuel price, which in one way or the other has meted suffering on the entire masses. Something must be put in place to cushion that effect. That is what we have been saying. And now that they are ready to do that, I think as agents of peace, we go in line with that. That's the whole thing. All this political intonation given to it is nothing.
All right. Okay. So there is also the Trade Union Congress, side to this, which is of course part of the organized labor, and they're demanding for an increase in minimum wage to 200,000 naira. Do you not find that maybe too, so to say, for want of better words, burdensome on the government? 200,000 naira. Is the organized labor being considerate putting such amount forward, or you think that we have the amount, that the capability, that government has such funds to pay workers 200,000 naira minimum wage?
If the fraudulent subsidy is removed, Nigeria will earn more. Nigerian government will have more. Among the OPEC countries in the whole world, Nigeria is an oil-producing country. It's only Nigerian citizens that are suffering. If you want to compare us, compare Nigerian citizens with other citizens of oil-producing country. What do they do with our oil money? The ILO standard about 8 years ago is that if you earn less than 200,000 naira, you are a poor man. How many poor people do we have in Nigeria? It's 200,000 naira too much for a family man, where a senator has about 300 million naira quarterly in the same country. Oh my good God, what are we talking about here? As an oil producer, put our refineries in place. Unless maybe we will not be able to more than that. Far beyond that.
All right, Comrade Kayode Martins. The argument being put forward by some people is that even labor, prior to now, labor is aware, or labor had been carried along before now, before this removal of fuel subsidy, that the president just made a declaration, an obvious or statement of fact, that even the Petroleum Industry Act has already removed subsidy in the first place. Besides, the budget cannot carry subsidy towards the end of the middle of the year. So all this knee-jerk approach of labor, or the approach of labor, some people have described it as a knee-jerk approach. I mean, don't you think they are right in that?
We are not new to that. We are not new to that. The president the new president elected, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, went on here and declared that subsidy has been removed. We thank God for that. Now the most germane question is, what do we do now with the palliative? How do we make sure the suffering is not that too much on the masses? I didn't mean he has put that before. It's only in Nigeria we always have the cart before the horse. Is it true?
Comrade Kayode Martins, are you there?
From the Nigeria NNPC to 500 naira, everything has gone up. The cost of everything has gone up, and it falls only on the masses. That is what we are. You must have set up a machinery where this thing will be called. Do you want to kill the people? That's what we are saying. How many Nigerians can afford such? If we increase fuel price, the direct effect on every other thing will be high. The cost of living has gone up. Only those who benefit from the rottenness will say nothing is wrong in Nigeria. Is it too much to ask? What do you have for the people? If you have them in mind. If your policy has human face, that is what we are saying.
So, Comrade Kayode Martins, let's be sure we understand clearly what you were demanding alongside fellow comrades in the organized labor, that yes, subsidy can go, but minimum wage should be increased, for example. Yes,
definitely. As a public worker, I have to spend about 5,000 naira now to convey myself and my family in a day. That amount to 150,000 naira a month. I told my governor yesterday, sir, my whole salary for the whole month cannot carry me to office. If you want me to report for duty, do you want to kill me? In a layman approach, let's stop deceiving ourselves. If you have to buy fuel now for 5,000, if you have a vehicle and you have to fuel it with 10 liters per day, that amount to 150,000 monthly. Take 150,000 out of 200,000. How much do you have with you left? And can 50,000 sustain your entire family? And what are we talking about?
All right. And there's also the demand from the agreements, or part of the agreements reached with the federal government yesterday, is to also look into refinery building and the sites that come up with a framework. I think that's the fifth one, that the labor centers and the federal government is to review and establish the framework for completion of the rehabilitation of the nation's refineries. And then I also like the fourth agreement, the fourth one here, which is that the labor centers and the federal government is to review issues hindering effective delivery in the education sector and propose solutions for implementation. You want to comment on that and what the direct demand is from government?
Thank you. In Nigeria today, talking about our primary and secondary schools, they are nothing to write home all about. For you to give your children quality education, you must take them to private school, and definitely that will gov a lot of money. As an oil producing country, it's an eyesore for us now to be importing the same thing we have in our domain. Fix the refineries. You claim you don't have money. The same government that cannot fix their own 4 refineries gave an individual in the same country $2.5 billion to put up a private refineries, which will benefit demand. This same man said, by the time I have my cement company in place in Nigeria, cement will not be sold beyond 1,000 naira. Today, cement is 4,000 plus. I will rely on them go to refinery, fix our refinery so that we will not continue to suffer. So simple.
But
why do we find it difficult to do?
Comrade, the issue is that labor had been carried all along in all of this, and that's, I still come back
not
to this.
Not at all.
So are you saying that labor was not aware that there is no budget after June 2023? Are you saying that labor was not aware when the PIA was passed? Are you saying that labor was not aware when there were arguments and issues during the campaign or before the campaign period that fuel subsidy will be removed?
My brother, please, I will because advise you, please let's remove sentiment out of our words. Now listen to me. Listen clearly. Till today, we're asking the federal government, give us the exact total number of crude oil that is being extracted in Nigeria. They are just giving us, there was a time they gave about the same figure for good 1 month. That's they are just cooking up figures. And we maintain, if a barrel of oil costs $30, that means it arrived Nigeria at 85 naira. If NFPC sell it at 185, they've made more than 100% profit. They cannot debunk that. Now you say something is being removed, you increase the fuel, and now before the meeting you call the stakeholders meeting and you increase the fuel from 185 to 530.
Comrade, carry the
matter to the meeting. Is that how to carry people along? And now we are saying, let me ask a layman question. Between last week, only NNPC was given the right to buy and to import and to buy to other marketers. If NNPC used to sell at 185 to those people, now he has been selling 500 to them now. In a layman approach, how much do you think it has fetched the federal government of Nigeria? So we should fold our hands to continue like that, and the same people will tell us there is no money. Somebody needs to tell them they are there to share the resources, not to amount it to themselves.
Comrade Kayode Martins, we've been speaking with Comrade Kayode Martins, the NLC chairman of your state and national vice president, Judicial Staff Union. Well, we'll come back to the NLC issue in a moment, but there was the I think a statement from Jusun, right, the Judicial Staff Union, also yesterday, that you were going to embark on strike, and the entire country was thrown into a frenzy, so to say, saying what will happen with people who have court cases, people who of course the state election petitions tribunal across states, and then the national, that's the presidential election petition tribunal. What happened to that? Is the union still looking to go on strike or not?
Thank you. If we have to go by what happens within the corridor of judicial sector in Nigeria, they say the judiciary is the hope of the last hope for common man. And where such hope is dashed, where do you run to? This is in a country where judicial autonomy, it's only here in Nigeria we don't have the separation of powers. It's only in Nigeria where we have the executive arm usurping the responsibility and the powers of both legislative and judiciary. The Nigerian judicial sector needs to be liberated as well. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. They love to control judiciary through funds. So the Nigerian judiciary is on its own. It's not built on a good ground. There is no checks and balances. The executives can do and undo, simply because judiciary and legislative are not given total autonomy to operate on their own, to perform their duty, to check the excess of the executives. So now telling us if the judiciary go on strike, the judicial sector in Nigeria ought to have gone on strike all the while, and we have been doing that. Let judicial autonomy be.
So is Jusun still going on strike?
Not only Jusun, all the affiliates.
Even with the directive from the National Industrial Court yesterday.
We've not been served.
And when you're served?
We are law-abiding citizens. They should find a way to serve us.
So, as we speak right now, it's 23 minutes past 10. You've not been served since yesterday.
We've not received any such.
All right. So, as it stands, if you don't receive that, you go on that strike.
with the handwriting on the wall, with the outcome of yesterday's meeting, and we're going to have next meeting between 2 and 4. You may call me thereafter.
All right.
Between 2 and
Both
4
the federal
today.
government and all the state governors, they have been are trying to reason along with us. And like I said, we are agents of peace. All what we are agitating for, please make life better. That's all. Make life better for the people.
All right, Comrade
So
Kayode
if
Martins.
they tread that line, there wouldn't be a problem at all.
Yeah, Comrade Kayode Martins is the Nigeria Labour Congress chairman of your state and the Judicial Staff Union of Judicial Staff Union, I beg your pardon, Judicial Staff Union. Yeah, Jusun, National Vice President Southwest. Okay, yeah, that's Comrade Kayode Martins. He's still on the line. Well, let's bring you into the conversation. 0909 555 1039 and 0703 2277 338 is the number to call again. 0703 2277 338 and 0909 555 1039 is the number to call to join the conversation. Do let us know if you think 200,000 naira, the demand by the Trade Union Congress, is enough. It's not too much, of a demand from the Congress. All right, let's keep the conversation going. You can also join in via Facebook, or we're streaming live right now. Thank you so much. Ozo Francis Nnamani is watching from Amagunze in Enugu State. Good morning from here. He says good morning to you too, Ozo Francis Nnamani. Joel, we see you also on Facebook. Joel, as well as Hope, we see you, we see Lola, we see Muni Sola as well. Thank you so much for joining in there. But you can also send in WhatsApp messages. We'd like to hear from you. Just before we let you go, Comrade Kayode Martins.
Comrade, are you still there with us? Yes. So you said Labour is meeting you are meeting by 2 to 4 p.m. today. Looking ahead with all these demands, I'm surprised that there's no time frame between when, as per implementation. Would this not look like another drag? Because there are no time frame, there are no implementable time frame to say, okay, from this time to this time, this is what we expect to be done. In the event that, say in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, or even say 3 weeks max, nothing happens, what would Labour do?
I wouldn't want to disclose that now, but they reach a conclusion yesterday. We don't mind, I can call you a copy, and with the, like I said, with the handwriting on the wall, it's likely we settle things amicably today.
All right. I mean, that would be for the good of every single person in the country, I suppose. Hello, good morning. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hear me, Abi. I cannot hear your response. Anyway, I want to respond to what
Please do.
is going on there. But the NLC and TUC to have succumbed to pressure from the federal government through the kangaroo meeting they held yesterday is a disappointment to the whole nation. We knew that they cannot fight for the plight of the common man, because in the recent days they have not been living up to the people's expectation. They have banded 200,000 minimum wage. All the citizens, government workers, and the business person that have been weighed down with the cost of fuel. How can he afford 200,000 from even when they negotiate it down to 100,000? Is it possible for a business person where there is no atmosphere, there is no enabling atmosphere for people to do business, with cost of everything that is eroding what your income, even your capital? They don't mean well for Nigeria. Although they need to respect the court order, but that doesn't mean that they should just succumb, because the response of the NFC spokesperson yesterday, that all they are agitated for, all they are asking for, is already welfare for the masses. It's not at all. They are fighting for their own personal gain. And if we push this further, I put it to them that they have collected money from the federal government.
So you
God
think?
bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Hello,
Do
before
you have
go.
evidence? I mean, that's a very, very well, that's a spurious allegation. I mean, we deal with evidence here, and if you don't have evidence, we sincerely want to appeal and urge you, please, let's be cautious of what we say on air. Thank you.
Alrighty, there you go. 0703-227733 and 0909-555-1039. Numbers to call to join the conversation. You can also send in WhatsApp messages via those numbers, or you head straight to Facebook or streaming live and join the conversation right there as well. Do you think 200,000 is too much, the minimum wage, to demand from the federal government? Well, that is moderate enough. The last caller raised a vital point, which is the fact that you know that not everybody works for the federal government or works for government. We have Kayode Martins. Are you there?
I'm with you.
Yeah, great. So the last caller raised in a few points, and
What is that?
and that's the fact that, and you can't blame Nigerians. Some Nigerians who hold, they believe, they have this perception, this sentiment that Labour is really not fighting their cause. That Labour would go into negotiations, and when it favors them, they accept the terms and walk away. Can you debunk this? Refute these claims that usually Labour goes into negotiations at some point, and then
I think that's the we have to from that perspective. But the true picture is this: whatever goes into the hand of any worker in Nigeria goes around. The artisans, the market women, nobody collects salary and fix it up in his or her home room, fanning it. You take it to the market. So indirectly, you are feeding the market. It's only the government that ought to blindfold the people, seeing it that way. We are not there to give labor the minimum wage. What do we do to others? How do you reach others? How do you reach the layman on the street? Increase the minimum wage, and let's see if the effect will not be on every other aspect. They know that truth. They know very well.
But Comrade, a follow-up to the question from from Kingsley is that the people in the formal sector, which really labor is under, that's the employed, it's just about a percentage, perhaps maybe 30 or max maybe 40%, compared to the informal sector where they don't earn a minimum wage. And Labour's fight now is give us, TUC especially, give us a minimum wage of 200,000. If I sell Yabasira in Oyingbo market or Oshodi or
my brother, let the market decide that. Let the market decide that. That's only the capitalists that want to take others for granted that will be saying that. Let the minimum wage be increased, and let every other thing we fizzle out automatically.
Are you not looking at inflation? I mean, if minimum wage goes up,
is inflation not already on ground?
But
like I told you, I told my governor yesterday, the minimum wage ought to have been reviewed. It's long overdue.
But yes, we agree that 30,000 naira is probably not no wage.
Brother, can you just be sincere for a while? Can you live on 30,000 naira for the whole month?
Exactly, and so we agree with you on that.
Ridiculous.
But then with this continuous demand for a review of the minimum wage, would that be the solution? Each time.
Hello, my brother, you cannot believe Nigeria is rich beyond that. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. They buy in dollars, they pay in dollars. It's when it comes to the masses, they now talk in naira. 200,000 naira is too much for a Nigerian worker, and 350 million naira quarterly is not too much for a city senator in Nigeria.
Well, we cannot confirm those figures though. For the senator, at least we can confirm for the workers 30,000 naira. That's in the books. But for the senators, we're not sure if that's exactly what they take home quarterly. But I'm just saying, each time there's an inflation or the cost of living has skyrocketed, should we not be demanding from government to ensure that we have inflation reduced rather than demand minimum wage increase, it means that the next time bread, for example, a loaf of bread goes for 1,000 naira.
Yeah, there are two ways to it. It's either you curb inflations or you cushion the effects.
And the demand for minimum wage is cushioning the effect.
If as a government you fail to curb inflations, definitely you have to pay the price.
All right.
No average Nigeria can live on 30,000 naira monthly.
I mean, that's an obvious fact.
Damage this inflation has melted on the economy and the entire masses.
All right, let's take some more calls and contributions. You can text or send in WhatsApp messages, or also call in the numbers 0909-555-1039. That's 0909-555-1039 or 0703-2277-338. We'd like to hear from you. Let's take this one from Mike. Mike is texting from Lekki, and Mike says, personally, I'm disappointed in labor unions for yesterday. We'll continue with Mike's statement, contributions in a moment. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you. Comrade Kayode, please just stay on the line.
Taiwo from Ikorodu.
Yeah, Taiwo. All right, Taiwo.
Yes. What I want to tip in is this. It's a simple thing. Can we ever remember when they have even have a strike of payment to all these our senators once? All the lawmakers, they never owe them in this country. I'm talking about their money. They never owe them. And they'll be owing workers. What the labor man is saying is truth. Very big truth. How much? Even 200,000 is not even enough. We don't deceive ourselves. If I tell you how much my transportation costs from here to Ikeja almost every day, without even adding food money, you will not believe I will not be able to work at all. Please, let the government listen to labor. And the only thing we need to do now is to support the labor now. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, Taiwo, for calling. Appreciate it. Keep them calls coming in. We have time for a few more before we wrap. So, just before I get back to that contribution I was taking from Mike from Lekki, very quickly, the last caller just reminded me of some of the allegations put forward by the first caller, and that's the fact that Comrade Kayode Martins, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Very well.
All right, great. Yeah, I'd like you to address these allegations because Nigerians have the way. Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll try to reconnect with Comrade Kayode Martins in a moment, but let's so that I can address this. Some of these allegations, but this one is from Mike. Mike is texting from Lekki. Mike says, personally, I'm disappointed in labor unions for yesterday. The government made a standpoint that they did not care about the plight of Nigerians by removing subsidy without palliative measures in place, and labor was supposed to stand for workers and the masses. All right, and 200,000 naira minimum wage. Even if we had blessed Gaddafi as president of Nigeria, that will still not be possible, Mike says. All right, Comrade Kayode Martins, thanks so much for reconnecting. Appreciate that. All right, so I was going to say that. Please confirm you can hear me.
Well, I'm with you.
All right, great. So I was going to say the first caller on the show mentioned something, and he expressed disappointment, just like like Mike texting from Lekki, disappointment in labor that. You go into a negotiation, Nigerians expect that, you would remain there, stand your ground. And the first caller made an allegation that labor must have collected money so they can reach an agreement with, behind the doors with the federal government. Is that always the case? I'd like you to address these allegations because a lot of persons you'd imagine, and I'm telling you, if you speak with people personally, these are some of the perceptions they hold.
If you are stealing, it will be difficult for you to deliver that quantity.
Are you with me?
Yes, we're with you.
It will definitely be difficult for you that others don't steal. Whatever you do is what you expect others doing. We said removal of a subsidy is good, but let's have the palliative measure on other things. The government said now we're ready to do that. What we agitated, the purpose of them threatening is just to achieve that, and it's been done. And if you don't go on street now and say, hey, now take for instance, we started the negotiation with 200,000 naira. It is not you people that will tell. Let's continue the bargaining. And by the time we come up with 180,000 naira, you know what people will say? Hey, they started with 200,000. They have bribed them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come up with 180,000 naira. So the allegation we are used to it, we are prepared for. We are too tall.
So are you saying these
and
allegations
that will not do anything?
So the allegations are not true.
Definitely. Initially, they said it's only Adero is on the side of Obi. Now that it's agreed, it's on the side of Tinubu. He has been bribed.
All right.
Crucify him today, hail him tomorrow. We need to get it right, and let's not allow these people to be pushing us here and there.
All right.
They have a way of setting us against each other. The war in Nigeria is simply between the capitalists and the less privileged. Let's fix that way. By the time they just one way or the other cajole you, brainwash you, and set you up against your other people, you will know. If minimum wage is increased, no workers will take the money and put it in his cupboard, taking it to the market. So one way or the other, the market women will feel the impact. I won't be able to take my children. They have bastardized this public school. I won't be able to take my students now to the public school. I will pay whatever is demand there. Have I not private school? Have they not benefited from the minimum wage?
We see your point.
That is the easiest, the common way to best you to alleviate the suffering and to reach the whole nation.
All right.
Let them do it.
All right.
The poverty level will not decrease. And they will give you reasons why they must not do it. The same country that will be telling you that about the total amount of money is too much. If they want to conduct a particular sensor now, they'll be rolling out billions. The same father that tells the child, I don't have money, will not call the child and say, excuse me, a robber came here tonight, took billions of naira from my room. Who does that? You know how much they embezzle? In the same country where they tell us there is no money.
All right.
They're not talking in trillions.
Comrade Kayode Martins, we want to especially thank you for being on the program this morning. Comrade Kayode Martins is the Nigeria Labour Congress chairman of your state and also the National Vice President Southwest of the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria, Jusun. Appreciate you so much, Comrade Kayode Martins. All right, again, network there. But thank you so much, Comrade Kayode Martins, and indeed thank you to Gbenga Ayannuga Paul, who at some point had to leave the conversation as well and attend to other things this Tuesday. But that's that with that part of conversation this morning. Let's now go to the next segment, Social Buzz, where we check out the trend on social media, discuss that, and get your thoughts as well on that. In a moment, do stay tuned.
This is Law FM 103.9.
I will implore you, in addition to your course of study, whether you want to migrate, whether ASU is on strike, acquire one or two skills. Short skills that will always be relevant. Please, you never can know where you will need such skill. I am Engineer Olaomi Gaspar, and you're listening to Law FM 103.9.
The passion to be creative, innovative, to climb higher and take the lead is what drives us on the station that inspires. This is Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
They are the leaders of the country today. Tomorrow has come. Law is meant to be understood by everyone in society, irrespective of age or status. No bias. It should be clear and precise. Law FM 103.9 gives you the best content, and they are here for you. My name is Khadija Okunulamidi, and I urge you to keep listening to Law FM 103.9.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Raquel H, aka Your Money's Mine, aka My Money's Mine. What up? You're listening to Law FM 103.9, your station for knowledge and entertainment.
And everything is super dope.
Alrighty, the Law FM morning show here on the station for knowledge and entertainment, Law FM 103.9, 45 minutes past the hour. It's time for social balls. Let's go straight to social media. There's this video trending right now. This one is trending on TikTok, and it's garnered a lot, 1.6k comments so far, 4.6k likes on this one. It's been shared close to 2,000 times, right? It's trending on social media right now, TikTok precisely, and this is about a wedding ceremony. This is a church wedding ceremony that was supposed to take place not in Nigeria, right? Not in Nigeria. This happened outside Nigeria, but I suppose these persons are Nigerians, right? But they don't stay in Nigeria. Well, this particular minister, right? Again, it's a church wedding, and the officiating minister reportedly is the father of the bride, right? And then when it got to the time when, you know, the bride, the groom walks down the aisle, and then it is time to do the joining, you say your vow, this one says the vow, and then all that should happen. The minister, who again is reportedly the father of the bride, then pops the question, does he, that's referring to the groom now, does he have papers? Remember, this thing happened in Nigeria. They stay abroad. From the look of things, the lady is legitimately, you know, staying there. Again, from the look of things, the groom doesn't have papers, and the father knows. The father also is the minister, and he's supposed to conduct this wedding, right? And then at the point where he's supposed to now join them, you know, he's not the one joining them, he's just supposed to officiate the of course now God they join, it's God does that. Okay, so we hear they're not Nigerians, all right, but they're definitely Africans, right? And they're outside Nigeria. So the father then pops, all right, does he have papers? Does he have papers? If he doesn't have papers, I cannot do this. You know, my conscience will let me do this, you know, and all of that. And then he walks out of this bride and this groom, while the bridesmaid, the groom trained guys also were there, the groomsmen were there, and then even the congregation were still seated there. The congregation was still seated there when he walked away. He walked away from them, and then he kept explaining, I can't do this, I can't tolerate this, this is not going to happen. In good conscience, I cannot do this. He doesn't have papers. If he doesn't have papers, then that cannot work. And there have been lots of responses to this. Just before we comment on this, with a few responses we see. Now, this person says, commenting on this, says, wicked father. You could have just told, no, you could have just popped that question long time ago. Melody, another person, says, Daddy was right for looking out for his daughter. However, I'm sure he had these concerns before she put on that dress and walked down the he could have spoken to them both before their wedding day. He was wrong the way he handled the situation. And this person says, Mr. Man, your actions are bad and shameful. What's paper? Did you take papers to heaven? Or will you take papers to heaven? All right. Vanity upon vanity, this person says. All right, this other person says, trust me, Pops. Pops is saving his daughter's life. Well done, Pops. Pops knows the full story. Why wait for the wedding service to ask her that question? Another comment, more comments, lots of comments. Like I mentioned, close to 1.7k comments now. Well, that is and it's trending right now. So what do you think the father should have done? Well, some persons have said should have done this questioning before the ceremony day. You can't come embarrass your kid, your daughter, even if you have consent. You can't come embarrass your daughter on the day of the wedding. The congregation is gathered, everyone is set. Yours is just to do the officiating and let's go. And why do that, right? Why do that? Why do that there? Again, we do not know the backstory. If he had popped the question, if he had done that over and over again, and then the daughter probably said, oh, don't worry, he's going to get that done. Oh, I love this man, and all of that. But what do you think? Do you think this father did right to have walked away, not conducted, officiated that ceremony, and demanded that the groom who wants to take his daughter as wife must legitimately reside in the country where they are residing? Let's know your thoughts. 0703-2277-338 and 0909-555-1039. Again, 0703-2277-338 and 0909-555-1039.
I mean, it's this story. It's quite interesting because here I think wisdom should have prevailed. Wise counsel should have prevailed here. This day is like your daughter's, one of your daughter's happiest moments, happiest days, and you just want to ruin it. Yes, the fact that
I'm sorry, Felix,
legal papers.
You need to hold your thoughts. Let's hear from maybe your father or your, I don't know. Hello. Ouch. Hello. Please turn down the volume, please. Hello. Okay, I'm not certain you're ready to speak. Hello. All right, do also call back 0703-2277-338 or 0909-555-1039. Those are the numbers to call to join the conversation. If you cannot connect via phone, you can also send in WhatsApp messages via the same number, or send a regular text message without the WhatsApp. You would love to hear from you. We're streaming on Facebook, facebook.com/law FM 1039. You can drop your comment there as well, and would definitely take them.
All right, so I mean, it's your daughter's maybe one of our most happiest days, and you should have planned before time. If you know you are going to do this, this shouldn't have come towards this height or towards this stage. I mean, should have supported your son-in-law perhaps to get a paper if you consent to the marriage, because he would have consented to the marriage if this guy had paper. So it means the implication is that he wants the marriage to go on, because if he does not want the marriage to go on, he would have not even come to bless the marriage in the first place, or join them. Well, like you said, it's God that joins, but the ceremonial joining. So it means that
you want to trap with join there. No problem.
It means that he had the consent. He wants them to be married. But you don't come on a day like this to do this. This, you should have done the whole housekeeping before now. Make sure that you got all the papers. I mean, this is not a way to, you know.
Felix, do you think there's so much focus? Right? Do you think there's so much focus on this man, whether he did it right or not? And then there's no focus. We're not talking about what the, you know, reception or the attitude of the son and this supposed groom is towards his counsel. Let's say he has done this before. Again, we need to assume without considering that he has done this before now, said, okay, have you done this, have you done that? And maybe they keep posting the man that he's going to, I'm sure that he will do it, that he would give his blessings on the day and move on. And then it was right there on the altar. And now said, okay, now do you have the papers? Or maybe he has said that over and over again, and then they both said, we'll get it.
I still beg to differ on that. This would have happened, or this should have come perhaps a day before or the morning, not on the stage, not in the public. What if that day before he has still said yes? Do you have the papers? Then you don't disgrace them on the stage.
Was that a disgrace?
It was for me.
Was that?
It was. I mean, it's like you are ruining their day, or you shouldn't even. You should not have come on the stage or on the pulpit or the rostrum or podium to have even. You should have recused himself from doing this. You should have said, "Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm just going to walk away. I'm not going to be here today," or reported the matter to the police rather than coming.
If you had reported to the police, that would have been better.
That's the way I feel. I mean, you would have done this before now. You would have done proper housekeeping. It's embarrassing.
I'm sure the criticism would be worse if he had reported to the police. But we'll leave things there. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Appreciate that. You want to comment on this? Well, you can tweet at LawFM_radio, LawFM_radio, and we'll continue conversation there. I'll personally engage with you because I mean, there are several sides to this, and well, I won't tell you where I stand anyway.
Well, you didn't tell us where you stand.
Yeah, I'm not even standing. I'm sitting at the moment. Thank you so much for being there. We'll catch you again tomorrow on the FM Morning Show. Kingsley, Bassey is my name.
Uzoma, Felix is my name.
Have a fun time this Tuesday, and bye for now.